What is going on, all of you mortgage maniacs out there? I'm Thomas Meister, the loan officer's agent. Super excited for today's video because I've created a really beautiful report that I'm excited to show you that not only shows the changes from the past week, who has gone to what company and where. We're going to look at the increase in loan officers, the increase in volume or decreases in that, but also the percentage changes, right? So we're going to get into some data for all. If you love a good Excel spreadsheet, this is going to be chef's kiss, beautiful video for you guys. Let's get started. So what we've got here is some data from RETR, and I've gone ahead and just made this so easy for you guys. This is sorted from gained loan officers all the way to, and it has been segmented. I will ask for some grace because what I'm realizing is that, if you can see some companies here where it shows like, oh, there's no data. There are, errors, holes sometimes in the data where they're, switching from IMB to broker to bank, and it's okay. It's being fixed. So we'll ask for some grace and move over these. I left the formula, the conditional formatting errors there, so you can see it. But for the most part, this is going to be very eye-opening, right? So what you can see here is this is sorted from loan officers gained, because I figured that's like the barometer, right? Like this is the weekly gainers and losers, okay? And if we scroll over here to brokers, we can also see LOs gained. However, a lot more holes in the data because a lot of these companies were not on the data set from the previous week. I'm going to work on fixing this, enhancing this for you. We're going to kind of pay attention to the green. Okay, we're going to look at the green stuff here. And so we're going to be looking at some of these IMBs and brokers that had the biggest gains and even biggest losers, right? So this is, there's no real rhyme or reason to this. We're just going to get started and we're going to be using RETR. If you're not signed up for RETR and you're interested in gaining access to RETR, I actually have an affiliate link in the description. You can use that to get signed up, and let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a full tutorial over RETR. I'm sure it's out there already, but I'm a pro user. I think I use this quite often, and I actually have given some feedback in terms of some of the ways in which we could enhance this data, get some other helpful things here, like for example within products, looking at VA loan amounts, FA compared to conventional, some of these other percentages like changes in here. So let's get started with our first company of the week. We are going to be looking at, it's interesting, okay? They gained 38 LOs, right? And this is a 12% increase in the number of loan officers for this company, but not a huge pickup in volume, right? We can see that they gained 38 LOs. Okay, they had last week 347. And we're gonna pull this company up, Absolute Home Mortgage, and we're gonna look at them. The 38 LOs net gain and an increase of 18 million annualized production. Okay, well let's validate our data. The data that you were just looking at is actually from RETR, and I extracted it so that way I could make it a little bit more beautiful. So let's just see, that's the past year. So sorry, we got to go last week. All right, moment of truth. Hey, 38 LOs gained, but hey, that's actually not the correct volume. So that's interesting. I don't know if we can rely on that then. We're gonna have to dive into it and see. But the number of LOs gained is true. So Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation being the biggest gainer of this week, they actually didn't lose anybody, so that'll help you, right? To gain some LOs. And it's a net gain of 200 million annualized production, okay? And let's have a look and see who's coming into Absolute Home Mortgage. And that's why. That'll be why, is you acquire a company, you buy another company. That's one way to do it, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $10 million plus producers. If this is your first time watching this video or this series, that's one of the ways that people in the mortgage industry in our space evaluate a barometer. Why are people going to a company? Are there good producers going to a company, right? So okay, a decent pickup for them and a good week for Absolute Home Mortgage. Okay, but that's interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on the data and why I'm coming up with something different. Why did I only see an increase of 18 million? Okay, from the previous week to the current week. More to come on that. So let's see, who is the next biggest gainer? So they added 16 loan officers. Okay, and that's not even a 1% increase actually in the number of loan officers, because CrossCountry has a lot of loan officers, right? And for what it's worth, this is a good data point to look at. Is right here we're looking at the total number of loan officers, but if you come to a company, right? Like let's use absolute home mortgage. You can see the current is 347. But right here, it shows that producing LOs is actually only 225 of the LOs. So 64% of the loan officers who hang a license at that company, only 64% of them did at least one deal in the last 12 months. Well, that's meaningful because a lot of those people did nothing. Okay. So, it's having loan officers at your company also doesn't just mean anything. So let's go into cross country. They're the number 2 gainer in the IMD channel this week. And let's see if some of these numbers stack up. Okay, so we're looking for 16 loan officers gained and annual volume pickup of 1.1 million. Oh, you know what? That's probably why it's not going to ever add up the same, is because what we're looking at, these numbers right here, these large numbers, they're never going, I think, to actually be correct. So we could just literally not even pay attention to this column, right? Because this is not going to add up correctly in this, right? So a net gain of 16 loan officers, which is correct, for $145 million of annualized volume. Let's see who's coming into cross country in the past week. Okay, so we've got a broker from UMortgage, big broker, right? So that'll help you too. Another big person coming, Steven. Let's pick on Steven for a second here and see, because when it shows this gap here, that's just because there's a gap in their license. So we can see here he came from New Res, but because his license was taken away from the company, right, dropped on 1/8, but he started on 1/22. That is why there it shows as inactive, right? Like new or previously inactive right here. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 $10 million plus LOs. We got someone coming from Luminate, another bank, some banks here. Okay, a lot of banks actually. Another broker, Edge Home is another bank. Oh, another person here. So these people must be connected in some way. Usually there's a connection, right? Like if in the same week people are switching companies, there's usually a reason for that. It's not just a coincidence, right? They're kind of in this together, right? In the same branch or something like that. Okay, so I think we said 10 coming in, and who's leaving? Where are you going? Who's leaving and why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 $10 million plus originators leaving. Nothing to sneeze at, okay? Bunch of them going to New American Funding. That's why. That'll do it, okay? Is a bunch of people going to New American Funding, including some of these other smaller producers. And I bet you some of these other people are also probably on their way. So a group moving to New American Funding from Cross Country Mortgage, okay? So interesting stuff right there. Okay, we can stop picking on Steven. Let's go over to our data and look at, and then we're going to switch to broker, and then we're going to switch to losers, right? So I guess this week we're going to be doing like 3, 3, 3, 3. Let me know in the comments if you have suggestions for how we should do this on a weekly basis. Because again, like that's not it's a lot of production to pick up, excuse me, but it's nothing like gaining increasing your loan officer count by 12% or 8.5%. Okay, so Swift Home Loans picking up 15 loan officers, and let's see how that impacts the company. So quick data point, right, is Swift Home Loans has 190 loan officers, but only 125 of them, 65%, did at least one loan in the last 12 months. Okay, so gain of 15, that's the right number, right? Yeah, gain of 15, cool. And so who left? Probably, okay, so small LO. Who came in, right? Because we're picking up $45 million of annualized production. 2 $10 million producers, but that's why is you gained a huge group from Priority One Lending. Well, let's be curious for a second here and dive into that. Priority One Lending, because I don't know them very well. I don't know anyone there. So net loss of 5. And well, actually, they must have picked up a really big originator because that's hardly any difference there, right? So, okay, they picked up Adam, and where did Adam come from? Adam's coming from Rocket Mortgage. Okay, so we've talked about this in some previous episodes where if you're picking up somebody, well, I don't know, like he's from Rocket. He could be from Bay Equity, like one of the previous. So Bay Equity was owned by Redfin, who got bought by Rocket. Part of that transition. Was he? No, because it's not showing that he was there. Back to 2021? I don't know. We're not going to dive into it any deeper than that. But I mean, actually, based on this profile, he's getting a good amount of business. Well, a lot of it's coming from Hester and Associates, right? Like, so he's got a lot of business coming from one place. But normally, if you're picking up an LO from like a Zillow Home Loans, a Rocket, like some of these places where it's like a call center type thing or online lender, that business is not likely to come back with you if a lot of it's refinance as well. So, okay, actually, I don't know. It probably will for them. So, okay. So let's see. Well, we already know who. I guess, did we see who left? Yeah, nobody left. That's right. All right, so we're gonna do a little shift here. Staying within the IMB theme, let's scroll down. We're gonna look at the losers in the IMB channel for this week. Okay, so right here we can see that. I don't know. Let's see who's the most substantial loser. It probably is actually lower as like one of the biggest IMBs, right? And Movement Mortgage, Fairway, Guaranteed Rate, Priority One. Oh, that's the company that that big group left, right? So, okay. Fidelity Direct Mortgage. I don't know enough about you, so is there a big reason that you're the biggest loser this week? Because you lost 38 loan officers. So what's happening there? Oh, that's the company that got bought, I think, right? They went to Absolute, right? So the biggest winner, right? Obviously. So this company is, in my opinion, unless the chicken coop literally just got completely raided, let's look at the last year, right? In the last year, well, most of their actual losses actually came in the last week then, 47 people. So I wouldn't say that this company is literally disappearing, but they don't have as many loan officers anymore. That's a pretty huge, to lose $201 million of production, annualized production in 1 week. Yeah, you're kind of the biggest loser right now. That's a huge hit to the company. So that would be our biggest loser technically for the week. And what else we got here? We got, so yeah, we're not going to count Zillow, Lennar, Rocket, MLD. That's a builder, right? Let's open it up and hop in here to MLD. I'm pretty sure that that's a builder. What happened? Oh, it's thinking. It's not ready. It's not ready for me. I'm tapping around too fast. Okay. So past week, MLD, we'll click the Google button. We'll Google them. Oh, the money store. Yeah. So this is an online lender. Okay. So they lost 10 people. Where are they going? Where are they going, guys? CMG. Okay. Pretty big group leaving the money store going to CMG. So they were one of the winners for this week, right? Or were they? Maybe they weren't the winner. They were close, actually. They were going to be number 4, and that's why. Is because they're picking up. Well, let's dive a little deeper then, right? And click it. We're going to open CMG as well, and we're going to see what's happening. So 1, 2, 3. When you lose 3 $10 million plus producers, and you gain, who'd they gain? Nobody. They didn't gain anybody. That'll do it. That'll be a big hit for you guys. So CMG losing nobody, picking up 11 for $116 million annualized production. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of these other people coming from someplace else. So good week for CMG at the cost of the money store, right? So unfortunate. Sorry. Oh, that's interesting. Better. I want to see this later, but oh my gosh, I could just live in this report all day long, but we can't. We have to have limits. We have to have rules. Okay, so lower. Lower is probably another big loser on the IMB side for this week. So let's see what happened. What happened, guys? They were one of the winners in one of the previous episodes for one of the biggest gainers. So they lost 9 LOs only for $28 million of annualized production. That's not bad, right? So when you gain, nobody. But you're losing 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, only one $10 million plus producer, right? So a lot of people, it looks like a group leaving, but not a massive group. So losing a lot of more LOs, but I would say that's kind of more of a flat week, especially for, a mid-tier IMB doing $4 billion, right? That's not a bad week at all. Okay. But movement, let's see. Because again, if we look at the percentage change, that was they lost 1.38, right? So 1%, right? 1.25% of their total loan officers, right? For movement, they lost 8, but that's 0.5%. So not as big. So let's see what happened at movement this past week. because it might have been bigger swing, less loan officers leaving, but probably a bigger hit to production for sure, right? So net loss of 8 loan officers, almost $50 million of annualized production. How many $10 million producers did you lose, and where'd they go? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3. 3 big, pretty big producers. Nowhere, no theme going on this week. Just some couple different companies here. And well, who'd you pick up? Who's coming? 1, 2, 3. Well, 3, but I guess when you add everything up, and so some of these people are in between right now, these people are not in between currently. These people were in between, and I could click it. Well, you have to get a RETR account if you want to see this more, and you wanted to say, hey, where'd Dylan come from and why? Get a RETR account. Use the link in the description. Okay, so that's going to be it for the IMBs, because we got to be balanced here, right? Let's quickly go over to the broker side and see. So we have to ignore, right? Like, forgive my crappy data set. Okay. But the biggest winner in LO pickup for this week is Nexa. Okay. They're one of the largest, if not the largest. I think they have the most loan officers. Yeah, I guess Primerica. Who are they? Is the name Primerica the name of them, or do they go by something? Oh, that's probably, they have a lot of loan officers, but they don't do hardly any production, right? Like you can see here, comparing the last weeks, again, these figures are not going to be accurate for the LOs leaving the company or joining or leaving the company, the production movement. It's more indicative of like the last 12 months. So I'll fine tune this data again, but let's hop over and into Nexa. Who's joining and why? Okay, 19 loan officers joining for $31 million, but they also lost 18 people. Okay, so, and by the way, well, that's actually right on pace for some of these other companies, right? Some of these bigger companies we looked at is only 64% of the LOs at Nexa did at least one transaction. But you know what? I've actually looked at this data and I've crunched this data a little bit more for some of these companies. And if you look at some of these companies and you want to like say, okay, how many of them are like serious LOs? Like, did at least 10 transactions, right? I mean, 12 would be 1 a month, right? 24 is 2 a month, which is like a serious LO, right? So if only 8% of your loan officers, right? It's interesting. If you want to dive into that deeper, you're going to have to get a RETR report again. Sign up for RETR. So let's see who's joining and why. 1, 2, only 2 people actually joining that are $10 million plus producers. Obsidian and Smith Brody. And loss. Who left? One $10 million producer leaving to Expert Home Lending. I think that's another broker. Okay. All right. So let's see who's next on the list. LO's gained. Okay. So we've got Primerica. Let's open it and see. Just because you gained a lot, the second most LOs doesn't mean exactly. There's no change. Nothing. Which is like 0? How's it 0? Oh, because nobody, everyone who joined and left did 0. That's a first time for this series. 18 loan officers just came and went, and nothing changed. Nothing changed within the company. Very interesting. Okay, that's flat. That's not. We got to skip them. Okay, and again, like they don't really do a lot of business, so it's like maybe this is probably a servicer, and it's just stuck here in the data, and I've never seen them before, so I don't even know what to say. Okay, Loan Factory. Picking up 14 loan officers. That's a 1% swing. Do any of these companies have a bigger swing than that? Okay, Saxton Mortgage had a bigger swing, so we'll look at them. Oh, smaller brokerage, but a 4% swing in loan officers gained. Maybe that's how we should count it on a weekly basis, is the percent swing, because it's not just about who got the most LOs, but I guess how significant that is for your company. But again, just gaining more LOs doesn't mean you gain more production, right? 25 million, good, but not massive, right? So gaining how many $10 million plus producers? 1, 2, 3, and losing 1. Okay, $10 million plus producer. That's it's a win, but it's not massive. Okay. Let's go to Barrett Financial Group, one of the other largest, or if not the largest, right, broker in the country. So let's see what the swing was. $40 million annualized production. So gained $1, $2, $10 million plus producers, and lost $1, $10 million plus. Oh, so going to IMB, okay, one of the big IMBs, right? Guaranteed rate. So interesting. Now let's find. Again, let's look at the data and try and find. Okay, so Edge Home Finance. Let's see, because again, they're one of the biggest brokers here. Now we're diving deeper into brokers than we did for IMBs, and we need to look at their losers for this week too. So 28 million swing. Who gained? Who left? So $141 million producer. Where'd you come from? Let's dive deeper into that. That's a big producer to not dive deeper and look at it. Look at the data. Well, there's technical. Oh yeah, again, there's a gap. So Mortgage Research Center, that is Veterans United. So that's a VA online lending company. So if I scroll up here, it's a lot of business with not a lot of consistency in LOs, like where the business came from. So to work with 68 different buyer's agents makes me think that this is not likely to repeat for this year. So maybe I'm happy to be wrong. I reserve the right to change my mind and to be wrong. But I don't think that is likely to be a repeat for Edge. Sorry for that candidate, recruit loan officer just joining them. So let's look at Saxton, because that was a big swing right there, 4%. Let's see if it translates to business. No. So you didn't lose anybody, but you gained 5 people, but only for $11 million of analyzed production. So no $10 million producers coming in. Okay. So let's see losers. We're gonna have to. Sorry guys. Again, like I don't know. Maybe I should release this report in a different format, and you could leave a comment in the descriptions if I should create a report like this, and I could have even some like subscription thing, or just like you have to be subscribed to get the report. But let's go to the biggest losers. Okay, to losing 10 loan officers for 10% of their production. Looks like a pretty big company. MTH Mortgage. I'm gonna have to dive into that deeper because I don't know who they are. We probably need to focus on the companies, if we're being fair, that are big players. But I don't know, like what's the minimum criteria? Like you had to have at least 10 loan officers, so we're not going to count Right Key Mortgage. What is that? Current against previous. I don't know. We got to have some criteria here, right? So we can look at some of these smaller brokers and see what's happening. But let's look at MT8 Mortgage and see what kind of lender they are, right? Sometimes I'm learning as we go as well. It's like there's just so many companies. Okay, so huge loss. Okay, I'm going to Google them. We got to click the Google button. See it. MTH Mortgage. Who are you? Are they a DBA of somebody? MTH Mortgage loan application, but it says Loan Depot. What? MTH Mortgage. Oh, is that a builder? This is like barely even a homepage. Who are you? Like, where's the disclaimer, the disclosure that shows what you're a part of? Because you have to do that. MTH Mortgage, like if you're a DBA, you would have to normally say who you're. Let's look at your LinkedIn. Let's see if it works. They're big. I mean, how much was it again? 4 billion, right? Okay. You lost. Is this a broker? What? It went to inactive. So these people left, but they haven't landed. So we don't know where they're going, but they're huge. What kind of producers are they? Let's look. We'll open 3 of them and pick on them. So let's pick on Brandon first. Okay. A lot of new build business. A lot. Okay. And then also good amount of refi. Same. Almost entirely. So this is a builder. Okay. This is a builder lender, and they got rid of these loan officers. So they like literally laid people off, which is sad. And maybe these people don't know where they're going yet. But interesting right there, because if it is a builder, let's, we could probably just ask ChatGPT, MTH Mortgage Financial Services, MTH Builder focus on Meritage Homes. Closely with you as well as Meritage Homes. Okay, so I think they are Meritage Homes, right? So this is the mortgage, it's MTH, Meritage something home. MTH, MT, Meritage Homes. Mortgage. Okay. So this is Meritage Homes, the builder. That makes sense. Now I know for the future. Or we all know for the future, I guess. If you made it this far in the video, give it a like and subscribe, and let me know what's good and bad that I even have done so far that you would like to see more of, or I could do better next time. All right. So we're going to move to I mean, I guess we could just, if we want to be, I don't know. So they lost 25% of their loan officers. Let's see. Anchor Home Mortgage. Okay. Anchor Home Mortgage. Where are you guys based out of? What you doing? Georgia. Lost nine loan officers, but barely any production. Okay. Nope. That's not really a loser, right? Key Mortgage. Wait. They barely had any loan officers. Let's go to MC Quantum Funding. Who? MC Quantum Funding. Is that a call center? Like, what are you? Yeah, no movement. Not a lot of, oops, I just closed the window unnecessarily. Hoot Homes. Home loans. They have a lot of loan officers. They lost 2%. Oh my gosh, they lost. That's huge. Hoot, one of the biggest losers, but probably not for a lot of production. 31 million, actually. Okay, so one of the biggest broker losers we've seen this week. Gained 2 loan officers so there's no $10 million producers coming in, but you lost a huge producer going to Churchill Mortgage. So if Hoot is in Los Angeles, so if they're a broker in LA, then they just lost a big producer going to Churchill Mortgage, right? All right, that's a big deal there. And let's find one more. Okay, guys, we're gonna look for one more. Prime line, no. Gosh, I mean, let's look at this one. Well, they only lost 2 LOs. So there's not a lot of big movement, like LO wise, right? For some of these companies on the broker side. But when you look at on the IMB side, right? Like obviously there's a lot more movement, right? Like how many companies lost at least 3 people, right? 17. And only 9 brokers did that, right? And what's the sum? So 47 versus 144. Lot more movement happening on the IMB side. Okay, guys. Again, if you made it this far in the video, please give it a like and subscribe. If you subscribe, then you can hit the notification bell so that way you get notified of future videos. Check out the description. I've got some links there, especially a link if you're interested in subscribing to RETR. You want to get access to RETR so you can check out all the cool data and who's going where and why, right? So thanks for watching this episode of Weekly Mortgage Losers and Gainers. I'm Thomas Meister. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.